But we still have a glamorous industry. People do want to come here despite all the odds, I think.
The guests should feel that they're valued for the money what they pay for. I mean, that kind of a guest experience we should create at our hotel.
Your guests should always remain the number one priority for you, because you are there because of those guests. So for me, that is very, very supreme important.
Good afternoon, everybody. To be here present for the TravTalk ThinkTank 9th edition. Our theme is Hospitality is Balancing Act, People, Profit and Innovation. We will be discussing all these 3 points across in the next 1 hour. As we all know, hospitality today is operating in a very interesting space. We see demand and rates have strengthened in many markets, but that comes with expectations, right from owners to guests and employees. At the same time, hotels also are dealing with a very different kind of workforce. AI's advent into hospitality is a no-brainer these days. And the definition of luxury has also changed, and there is an increasing pressure on profitability. So today the question is not simply how hotels grow. So we are not just going to discuss how we are looking at growth and everything in general, but we want to know how you balance people, profit, innovation without at the end compromising what hospitality is fundamentally about. And who better to ask you than our 3 women leaders in hospitality who are leading very different properties and bringing a very different experiences, to the table. So we would, briefly want to introduce all of you. We have Miss Meena Bhatia. She is the Vice President and General Manager of Le Méridien, New Delhi. Miss Lakshmi Sridhar, General Manager, Novotel Vishakhapatnam, Varun Beach. And Miss Preeti Makhija, General Manager, the Leela Palace, Chanakyapuri. Welcome, everyone. I'll start with Miss Bhatia first. Ma'am, you've spent, almost 4 decades in hospitality and have seen several cycles of change. When you look at the industry today, what has changed the most? And according to you, what has not changed at all?
So obviously, 4 decades is a long time, and if I talk about where we started, it would not be relevant now, because those things really don't mean anything. So you know that it's not only the hospitality industry that has changed; things have evolved very fast, especially in the last decade, and technology has made a lot of difference, of course, and that goes without saying. But what is also very different today is the hospitality offerings, what we bring to the table, because it is so different, because expectations have changed. So people today want everything delivered seamlessly, quickly, with the use of technology. When we started, it was everything personalized, everything by personal conversations, eye contacts, and all those things now seem to be quite irrelevant. And more delivery of hospitality is through technology, which is a change uh, which is inevitable. But I still feel that we should respect the word of hospitality, and that should be something that doesn't change. Hospitality still means a warm welcome by a human being, and that is something that should never change in hospitality.
Fair enough, ma'am. We will take this point, further ahead. Ma'am, I would like to bring in Miss Makhija as well into this. Ma'am, you have spent 16 years with the Leela. What and more? I think more. What do you think? What is the expectation of the guest today that perhaps wasn't even on the radar when you started your journey with the brand?
So, thank you for the kind introduction. You're right that there has been a quite a evolution of guest, and a luxury traveler, if I may say so. Today these travelers are far more well informed, and they are well traveled, and they're very discerning. That if that's the word I could use, and they no longer define luxury purely through the opulence of the building or how grand the hotel would be. It is more about, doing with how the experiences have been planned for them, what is the hyper personalization that has happened for them, and how authentic is the experience planned for them. That's the whole perception of the experience that they would carry with them. They also don't want to really, it doesn't matter to them if they are coming and staying in a hotel, because obviously they have been well traveled, so they have an access to the best hotels of the world. It's all about, what are they getting out of staying at a luxury hotel like Leela, or any of the hotel that we have mentioned earlier. So it's more about getting value for money in terms of genuine and warmth that he can get from the guest. And it should not really be transactional at all. I mean, any guest I mean, these days the guest can easily identify a transactional interaction with an employee, and they would not take a minute to kind of voice it out. So it's more about how authentic and how genuine the service is. um, and for the brand like Leela, it's always about retaining the graciousness of the brand and the warmth of hospitality, while constantly evolving its expression, through its service, is what I would add here. And it's more about, me now, please don't overwhelm me. Do your service, but it has to be a discreet service. So it's more to do with
And
that kind of an experience.
okay. And find that balance, you're right. You've experienced the brand, ma'am, under the Nair family as well, now with
Yes.
Brookfield behind the group. What has changed and what elements of the original Leela philosophy have remained unchanged according to you?
So, the best part is that the current parent company, Brookfield, has very well retained the Leela essence, to an extent that the name, brand name, which is Leela, has been a significant, presence for the brand. We have never, shied up from talking about the story of the brand and how Captain Iyer has dedicated the brand name to his late wife, Leela Nair. So the whole conversation that happens for the brand also even now starts with that. Nobody really misses out on carrying the vision what Captain Iyer used to have. And of course, what they have made now, nobody can really come to that level. And I think with Brookfield coming into picture, we have only been evolving as a brand. We have been growing as a brand. We have got a lot of hotels that have been added to our portfolio. A lot of work has been happening in food and beverage space. A lot of work has been happening in wellness space. So a lot of these new advanced experiences that a traveler would want, there has been a lot of study going on with that. And I think that way Brookfield is really helping us evolve together, carrying the same Leela, Indian touch and the hospitality that used to be there in the times of Mr. Nair. And of course, as you rightly mentioned, I've seen both the eras, so I could
Yeah.
rightly, say that there has not been a single thing that we have really, taken off, or have been missing out that used to be there in the earlier time. I mean, everything has been retained as it is, because why not? I mean, you already have the best that you had. So it's just that how you scale it to the next level, and how you really make it best from what it was, better from it what it was. So I think that's the expectation that the current company carries with them.
So, ma'am, you're trying to say that you're protecting a legacy, but also at the same time building a new philosophy. Is that correct?
Absolutely, absolutely, that's the whole idea.
Perfect. Thank you. Which is harder, actually, if I come back to you?
I think with the right people in the system that they already have, it's not. I mean, I don't think so. There is a problem in really carrying forward that.
Perfect. We would like to also, bring in Miss Lakshmi Sridhar now into the conversation. Ma'am, you have a story that, I think many people and many women in the, hospitality industry, must be aspiring for. You started as an executive assistant role to becoming now the general manager. And from your own journey, if I may ask, what does that tell us about what the industry needs to now do better when it comes to developing and retaining talent, particularly?
Well, thank you, Nisha. This is a very wonderful question and very close to my heart, actually. So the thing is, it is very important for all of us to read the mind of our talent, actually, to know them better and to interact them on a regular basis. So today's talent, what I have come from a very, I mean, I've not started my journey from as a GM secretary, but I started my career as a telephone operator a year ago, so while ago. So my journey was always, they say that when you become a general GM secretary, the role ends there. I mean, there is no other career path or other career line or a growth line is shown to us those days. I mean, it is like you start as a GM secretary and your life ends with GM secretary. So nowadays, what is there? Like I have broken down that, the limitations which was there. So it's like that for us. For me, they have shown us the career path lane, that this what you can become. They understand my potential. So you need to understand the talent potential first, their pros, their likes, their dislikes, everything to be. You should be, putting it together, and you show them the career path, the line wherein they can grow here, exposure to the different departments, so that they can learn and grow along with the company. So this is what is more important for us to know, that what the talent really needs to know, or how should we understand our talents. So also the very important aspect of the hospitality industry, what we miss nowadays is listening. We need to be an active listener to these people. At times people leave the industry not just because of the industry. They leave because they feel that they're not heard, they're not valued. So that thing, I think you should, if one put in those values into the picture, I feel that we will have a better talent retention happening in our industry.
Perfect, ma'am. Actually, talent shortage and talent retention is the next question that I was, coming to. We've been talking about the talent shortage for years now, but is the problem right now is, shortage of talent, or the industry has failed to create a workplace only that, today's talent, which is the new Gen Z and, newly trained graduates in hospitality really want. So, Ms. Bhatia, I would like to, bring you in this conversation again for this question. Is this a classic chicken and egg situation? Does hospitality really have a talent shortage, or does it have a workplace culture problem, at the core of it?
So it is a good combination of both. Of course, there is a talent shortage, and that's because we all know, because there are multiple opportunities, that have come up now, and people are looking at different. They want to be a little bit more adventurous. They want to experiment with life. They go to. I've seen cases where they have gone to a medical school and after that they have become chefs. So it is they want to experiment everything. So that is how the current generation thinks. So therefore, there is genuinely a shortage because there is an increased number of opportunities for them. But at the same time, I also do not disagree with you that a workplace culture, it is not that we have not created a workplace culture. It is the nature of job, I think, also. So today's children also, because they have so many opportunities, they do not want to, like a hotel management student does not want to begin opening the doors to guests. That's something they don't want to do. They don't want to, so we basically, especially the ACT kids, like cities like Delhi, Mumbai, these kids do not want to start in F&B service and all. They would rather go to a management school than they would to do this. So we, as an industry, I think a lot of work is going on right now to mobilize more children, to go into the interiors of the country and mobilize more children, which is also very good because I think it totally uplifts the whole economy of the country. It brings up more opportunities to children who have been deprived of these opportunities. So we are really trying very hard to kind of mobilize more children, to get more people interested in the industry. Now, if you come to the workplace culture, okay, hotels have now adopted to 5 days a week because that's what the other industries do. Salaries are no more based on just the minimum wage. We have increased salaries. Uh, hotels are very labor like people intensive kind of industry. So manpower cost is really high. It's a good percentage of our profits, but because the business is good, the demand is there, we can afford to do it right now. And we are doing it because we are responding to the needs of those children, because the industry needs it, because we need them. We need to keep the industry attractive for the next generation to come in. So all that is being adapted, but still, working in shifts, that's something that we can't avoid. Being there when needed, that's something that we can't avoid. Work from home is not really a good option for hospitality. So, no, all those things combined, if you compare to many other industries, no, we can't offer that. But we have we still have a glamorous industry. People do want to come here despite all the odds, I think. We just need to work a bit harder to create and retain that charm of the industry.
Ma'am, but the impression for the next generation is usually, for decades, in fact, there are long hours involved, personal sacrifices there, and that is accepted as a part of your profession. But the new generation is questioning it at the same time,
Yes,
and
they are
they
questioning
want a,
it.
yeah.
And we are responding to it.
Yes.
Like I said, 5 days a week is something that we have accepted. So we are responding to it in the best way possible. But long hours is something also that it's
Can't
you
avoid.
know they have to understand that you have to be there when you are needed there. When a guest wants you, you have to be there. Uh, it is a harsh industry. We are working, say, for example, on a Christmas or a New Year to entertain those who are enjoying their celebration. But that is what our business is. So, that is what people have to understand. And only people who can understand and are people who can understand people and appreciate this are the only people who survive in this industry.
And you said that, you are increasing salaries also, but is salary enough to now retain people in hospitality? Or, or some kind of other discipline has to be there from the, industry at large to retain people within this fold. And as Ms.
I
Lakshmi
think
also said,
the other big thing is growth. I think that is something children question. Where will I be? What will that hospitality school kids, out of the entire batch, I think not more than 10% comes into hospitality. They go into allied industries. They're okay to work in QSRs because that's like a temporary job they all do, college time kind of thing. So they're okay to work there for some time. They're okay to work in freestanding restaurants because these restaurants have Michelin star or having great chefs and timings. I think, of course, evening and morning shifts. They're not like hotels. They're okay to go to to other industries, hospitals, wealth management, insurance companies, call centers now not so much, but these are the industries they take straight after campus. So I believe in one thing, that I think our campus is in our own hotel, and if we grow our own people to higher positions and show them the way, I think they're there to stay in the industry even if they are not going to stay with you. So we whenever we have a demand for somebody, for example, in sales, we always look inwards rather than looking outwards.
Correct.
People prefer to get out people from outside because they can bring in business, pull in business. But I think what your own associates can pull in for you, nobody else can do that. So we look inwards first and then grow people. That also kind of shows them the way. And I'm not saying that that person is going to stay here forever, but they will have better opportunities to grow in the industry. I know of people who are working in banqueting or small jobs and all, who are now general managers. One of my own secretary heading global sales for a company. So you just have to show them the path. That's it.
on that one, how you said that, the hotel is the campus. That on that point, we'll, go further ahead. Ms. Makhija, I would like to ask, I'll take this question into the luxury space now. At a luxury hotel, the guest, expects perfection at every level, at every touch point. How do you balance those expectations with a workforce that also wants flexibility and a better quality of life now?
So, I totally get what Ms. Bhatia was also saying, that, the generation right now, they don't understand the kind of hours we had put in our times, and and you can't expect them to do the same thing because everything has changed. So how do you keep them motivated? How do you ensure that they are there for you when it's required? So I think the only way that we all keep doing is that, I would not say that keep celebrating them every once in a while, but I think it's very important to recognize them. It's very important to kind of incentivize them. We also run a lot of incentive program in our hotel, which is for, it could be in beverage upselling, it could be a room upselling, it could be a special package upselling. So a lot of incentivization is something that we have started doing over the period of time, which is really helping these kids to kind of go the extra mile, and really put in effort to do something special and feel that, oh, I'm being recognized because I've done this special achievement, and the company is really putting an effort to kind of mark that out for me. Also, at Leela, we truly believe in developing our own talent. So, rather than hiring senior position from outside, we will ensure that we grow these internal talents, and we kind of give them opportunity within the system to grow. Hotels are also, in our brand, we have more hotels being added. So having these kids transferred to the new hotels as a senior leader opening. So that all discussion keeps happening with them every now and then, doing these job chats with them. Yeah, I think I'm sure everybody else here on the forum is like that. We have started being very, like, getting into a one-on-one conversation rather than talking to their managers. I mean, anybody can walk into my office and have a chat with me, or, being on the shop floor, I would have my own conversation with these kids and try to understand if there's an issue that they are facing, and how we can resolve it. And the suggestions are taken from them only. And, there is obviously, most of the times we'll act upon those suggestions, and they feel that they are being valued, they are being respected, they are being heard, is what I think is the exact way of handling this generation. Is, I think it's very important for them to feel, to be heard, and to be really recognized for every small little thing. I mean, I'm not saying that do that every day, but yes, I think it's very important to recognize their efforts in whatever way you can. Be it in a town hall, be it in a, if you do like a small, like a kudos card or something on those lines, which can really make them feel special. So that is something that we keep doing to keep them engaged, so that the kind of guests we get in our hotel, which are, I think, all head of states, and there are all these HNIs and ultra HNIs. So to be able to really be available for them, to be able to handle their requests, to be able to really understand what they are really wanting without asking too many questions. So all those is very much important, and of course training becomes an integral part of handling such guests. And we have a constant investment when it comes to training our teams. We have our, I think we have recently launched our own Leela Center of Excellence, which is in partnership with GD Goenka University. So our students are being sent there, and there's a curriculum that run for them, where they are a part of like a 2-day workshop, and they will be an external trainer who would come and just talk about these relevant topics. And they also feel that, okay, fine, from the hotel work, I have been out for 2 days and I'm been put into a workshop, and I'm really like, the company is investing into training me. So they also feel valued, and they want to really give it back in through their action and through their gestures. So this is what we've been really into right now.
Uh, Now you're taking that mentoring and training part a little ahead. Where I would like to ask Miss Lakshmi Sridhar as well. Ma'am, you've seen the industry ground up, and one thing you would want to change about now, how hotels are developing their new next generation of leaders. Now, how are you, training and mentoring these people to become the leaders, and especially for this generation, because they're already hesitant to enter the industry, and now going to the next level will be all the more difficult for them. So how do you take them in that direction? And what can be
As
changed?
Yes, as rightly mentioned by you, yes, nowadays this next gen kids are very hesitant to join our industry because they hear so much so that the working hours, the long working hours, and so many things they hear it out. They are hesitant to join our industries. In that scenario, we are a very transparent company, so we ensure that these kids are well informed about the expectations, their career path, their role, and what is their goal will be. And our goal and our mission is clearly infused in them. We train them so much so that they know that this is what this company is expecting out from us. The regular training is very much important. We give, like, and it is mentioned by Ms. Makhija, it is an integral part of the any hotel industry. So we give them the kind of training. Training needs analysis are being conducted on a quarterly basis, and then we ensure that these talents, these potential talents, are identified. We don't wait for the tenure or their seniority level. We should be identifying their potential in much earlier stage itself. And then we need to have a mentorship development program which Accor has. So we have that mentors and mentee program here, so that we develop in them, and then we ensure this mentor and mentee meets in a monthly, once they meet and understand their requirements, and we take it forward. So this is how we are developing our next gen leaders to make them ready for the roles. So rather than waiting for their tenure to complete or their seniority is being judged for. So we are very much into that. Future leaders should be given they should be given more exposure towards the other departments and the business levels, and they should be heard, and we should give them the ownership, the accountability. We should make them responsible, hear them, listen to their ideas, make them responsible for their decision. So this, if we do it properly with transparency, I think we will be able to nurture the next gen leaderships in a better way.
And hopefully, like, retain this generation within this
Yes,
industry as well.
correct. True,
Yes.
true.
Yes. Okay, from people to now come to the best question, which is profit. So, ma'am, Ms. Bhatia, I would ask you first. Hotel performance is strong, like very in many markets, and India is showing like great numbers. And consider the upcoming tourism and hospitality market for like whichever report I take today, and India is showing
Yep.
great numbers. But are we becoming too focused on occupancies, ADRs, and RevPAR?
And why
And might
not?
not.
And why not? I mean, it is the time to optimize. It is, I mean, that's the way business is done. So if there is a demand, we will need to obviously optimize our shares, be it from the occupancy, be it from the average rates. This is what the RevPAR is what actually goes to the bank. So why not? So we need to optimize. And in any industry, automobiles, anything where there is high demand, low supply, this happens. But at the same time, we have become, people have just said that hotels are ruthlessly charging these kind of rates. I do not agree with that. I do not agree, because it is not that every room we sell is going at 1 lakh of rupees all the time. It does not happen like that. It is a demand and supply. If there is a big convention in New York, and if you're going for that convention, you will have to pay a very high price, right? But if you go to New York any other time of season, you will get the same room at a much lower rate. So that is acceptable to most of our travelers, but it is not acceptable that we do it in India. That's strange. So, because they're not used to it. So, yes, there are times when we charge a higher rate. There are times when we, unfortunately, the first quarter of this year was not that great with the war breaking out and things not going in the right direction. So, we were discounting as well, but nobody takes heed of that. So this is supply and demand, and we need to work according to the market, and that's exactly we are doing. Even when the hotel is full, it is not that we are selling all our rooms at that price. We respect our regular guests, we respect our RFPs, we respect our crew business, we respect all of that. But whatever rooms are left to sell, they definitely in a high demand will go at a higher rate. So that's as simple as that.
Okay, on that, I want to bring Miss Makhija as well in. Uh, the rates and repars and everything is not as as high in India still. This is what has been said. When we compare those with global rates.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that? And why is the same Indian ready to pay more outside but not ready to pay inside, in the country itself, that same rate?
So, adding to what Ms. Bhatia said, I think we are right now getting into the phase where people are actually ready to there's a mind shift now, and people are actually ready to accept that what the in Delhi hotels should be charging and why not. Because our hospital, if you travel to these countries in Europe, the kind of service you get in a hotel, which is even a five-star hotel, and you're probably paying 600 or $700 per night, and the kind of service you have to pay for every single thing to a level of even paying for a pot of hot water. So here, when they come to our our side, where we are ready to give anything and everything to them, which is like a special personalization, or a special part of package, which becomes which is like a room rate package, and still people were not ready to accept. But I feel that now, from the post COVID, there has been a transition in this, and there has been an increase in people coming and staying at our hotels for staycation. People have been really coming to the hotel for dining experiences, and they're realizing that uh, in case they're looking for a special service, they better pay for that. It's not that you expect that you get a like a special Michelin star experience sorts, and you're not okay to pay for that. So I think that there has been a shift in that mindset, and we could really see that happening. Of course, it's still a long way to go. We still have to work towards it. And I think with the kind of travel, the exposure the travelers are getting when they're traveling internationally, they're realizing that what all they're getting when they travel to countries, and then when they come back to India, what all they experience in our country. So I think there has been a change. I would not say it used to be the same, and that's why the hotel are able to demand rates what it actually deserves to have. The size of room that they will pay in a New York hotel, and the size of room that we offer here in Delhi, there is a huge difference in that, and there is a huge difference in the price point also. So I think more or less we are getting there, and especially with the with all these new convention center that we have in capital, the Bharat Mandapam, the Yashobhumis, all of this have been really been able to attract these huge delegations and conferences to the city, and that's why the travelers have been able to really command, and we have able to command those high rates. And trust me on this, that in next 5 years we will be at a much better place in terms of charging what actually the Indian hotel should be charging. So we should be really at it in terms of our price point.
Also, like comes providing the kind of service that you all do
No,
has a
absolutely.
lot of
There is
investment as well.
Of
So
course.
I would like to go to Ms. Sridhar now. Can a hotel actually deliver exceptional guest experience and maximize profit at the same time? Or are those two things can be, in conflict sometimes?
No, not actually. I mean, I don't think so. There are two different priorities actually. They can go hand in hand. Like, if we take care of the guest, and if the guest feels they are valued for, so I think the business will automatically fall into the place. You don't need to, but we have to run the business because we have been given certain targets to achieve, certain ARR to be achieved. So that thing we should keep it in mind. But we can, by doing this, we're not going to get into the loss. So we will create a loyal customer base, and then they are going to come to us by any which means. Because the guests should feel that they're valued for the money what they pay for. I mean, that kind of a guest experience we should create at our hotel. So every time it is not only the discount which matters to the guest, it is also the kind of a guest experience we deliver at our hotel. So what differently we do and how we we take care of them is what is actually matters. Like many guests, we have other composite hotels here, which is 5-star deluxe hotels over here. So many guests come to us when we are priced at higher rate, but they are offering a lower rate to just to cut the market they offer, but they still come to us. They come to us, they stay with us. It is not because of anything. It is because of the experience they get, the personal touch they get from this hotel. So that is one thing we should, that essence should not fade it off from this. So I think this can go hand in hand.
Perfect, ma'am. Uh, Coming like for all of you overall, whoever like feels can answer this first. Like what should a GM really be measuring today? Like sitting at your position, there is everything like comes under you, everything is reported to you. As you said, ma'am, Ms. Makhija, that anybody can walk into your room and discuss what they have to discuss. But what are the potential areas, that a GM should, you know, in terms of numbers, or if you can rank those, what should you be measuring entirely today, or focusing on more? Is it guest lifetime value, direct bookings, F&B, and there are a lot of ancillary revenues that you all talked about, employee productivity, so many things like repeat business, profitability, rather than just top line, but the other avenues as well. So whoever wants to take this, please. On priority, what first?
Preeti, you want to go ahead? Or
Yeah, I think Nisha already mentioned certain points while she was talking about it only. So I think it's more to do with, I think it will be the same for all of us. It's more to do with the how the guest satisfaction is, that becomes a number one priority, for a hotel like ours. And the repeat guest percentage is something that we really, keep a close focus upon, the personalization, the recognition of guests, the employee engagement, retention for the employees, training, the internal talent development, the F&B overall performance, and the ability for creating experiences at our restaurants. um, I think a culmination of all this put together is will really define the priorities for a luxury hotel. The employees, the guest, and of course meeting the numbers that cannot be that is obviously has to be there. I mean, there is no room for not being able to do the numbers, and along with that, be able to maintain your NPS and your ranking in terms of guest satisfaction.
Okay. Ma'am, has a GM become too much of everything like today? Like from the operator to the salesperson to the brand ambassador, face of the brand, content creator, even like crisis management, of course, is your portfolio, but and a representative of the owner. So what should a GM actually be spending more time doing?
I would
yes.
say that I still do. Sorry, Ms. Bhatia. I will still say
No, no,
that
no.
I I will, I'm sure she also does that. I know that. I still not don't shy away from. I mean, I still ensure that I take out time to be in the breakfast room in the morning for at least an hour. My 1 hour is spent at the breakfast room every day, regardless of the day, regardless of how busy I am, regardless of what's happening, because that is a time which really you make connect with your guests. And I think I am somebody who's always going to do that. I know things are changing, people are focusing more towards strategy making and model, revenue models and all of that, but that will always happen. Your guests should always remain the number one priority for you, because you are there because of those guests. So for me, that is very, very supreme important, and I will never ever take that off from my routine, whatever I become. So sorry, Miss Bhatia, you could go.
No, no, sorry,
Yes,
sorry.
please.
So yeah, I totally agree with Preeti on this because it is, I mean, we're working for the guests. And, so I also tell all my salespeople and everybody, spend time in the lobby, because lobby, what you learn in the lobby, nobody else can teach you. So being in the lobby, meeting with people and talking to people is, I think it's a priceless kind of information that you get, and the relationships you build up. I think there's no value into it, because that's really, for a hospitality person, I think it's the most important thing. So being in the lobby for 1 hour morning, 1 hour evening is like something that you really not not have to do, you want to do. That's something that every general manager really wants to do. And investing time on people, be it your guests, be your own associates, employees. I think these are the two most important priorities. Then you say that strategy and looking after owner relationship matter. They're like HQ relationship. All that is a given. I mean, that happens. That will happen. You cannot make a better strategy in sitting in the office than you can make if you're standing in the lobby and talking to people and looking at something that should not have been there, or something that can be improved. I mean, one round with the client, which I just did before joining this call, one round with the client, and so many things in my mind already that this has to be done. What more is strategy to run a hotel than this?
Okay, then we come again to like hotel is the campus for everyone then. Ms. Lakshmi, you have anything to add on to this? Too much of
Rightly mentioned
everything
by
for a GM?
Yeah, no, it's like I agree with both of them. Yes, GM can make a better strategy in by meeting the guest in the lobby. That is the best study room for a GM to know things better and do the strategy, plan the strategy, and run the business. So yes, I do also, make a schedule for my sales team. They have to meet the guest during the breakfast time is the best time to meet the guest when you are going, and then know about their experiences and their stay comfortability, and everything comes out that during that period. And during the evenings when they come back or you meet a new guest, a lot of things happens in the lobby itself. So that is your entire campus for us. So yes, we have to manage owners at times. A lot of things happens. That is a different thing altogether. Managing owners and answering their questions about anything RevPAR going down, ARR going this way, other concept has having a wedding in that hotel, why you people are not having the wedding on those day, auspicious days. So lot many questions comes I know during the day. So that things we manage, we have to answer those things because we are little picky about our businesses. So we need to manage owners, we need to manage the team, the employees, our team artists, plus we need to manage our guests. So above all, I feel if we manage guests and our team, everything will fall into its place automatically.
Now that you brought owners into the conversation, I'll take that direction a bit. How involved are the owners in the day-to-day running for like all your hotels? Like, if you can answer the question, ma'am, you've already touched upon it. And
Yeah.
does that, sometimes interfere or not, or is that always, for the betterment for the business?
I
Sometimes
will
there's a
call
clash also.
it happens, but as far as my owner is concerned, is he's a very genuine concern, as he has many hotels under him, so he understands the business, and he believes in that two leaders cannot be in the same place at the same time, so he leaves it to us. Two bosses cannot be in the same places. So if he doesn't come very often to the hotel and all, he comes at once in a while, or maybe 15 days once he comes and then he goes. But then he has his own says about the maintenance of the property, hygiene condition, or anything is there. He has to pitch in for it. So he pitch in for that, but not for the operational decision and all. He doesn't interfere at all. So but then we have a monthly meetings with our owners to give them, the review meetings happens every month, so we give the heads up to him, so he really doesn't interfere in our operational business. So he it does, for me, owners interference for the betterment is more towards that side.
Perfect. Ms. Makhija, from an owner-driven brand to now a corporate, specifically corporate-driven brand, do you see that the owners playing a significant role in how you go about your business?
So I think we have been very fortunate that we have got Brookfield as our parent company, and who are really come with a larger vision, and they have been really, really supportive when it comes to doing any sort of development in the hotels, and whenever we have come up with any proposal for the benefit for the hotel guest or employees, we have always been given a go ahead in that. And I think they think 5 years ahead of what I will think. So I think their understanding, their ideas, suggestions have always been into our favor. And we have never really faced any challenge or any sort of a thing. Of course, we also have our monthly meetings, and we also have to kind of submit our performance report and their STR and everything, and we are questioned for that. And but I think it's more to do with how better we could become and what all we could really add to be able to really perform well. It's more to do with that rather than getting into a micromanaging, or because there's nobody who really micromanages. So I think it's working out really well with the entire setup now.
Like, if at all, like there are any clashes sometimes, so you go into the direction of resolving that. Ms. Bhatia, if you want to come in there, and like how is the owner hotel relationship is maintained these days, and how that has changed. You can also, like,
So,
share your
for
views
me,
there.
this question may not be very relevant because simply because of the number of years that I've spent here. So it's a very different kind of a relationship and a very different dynamic. So, yeah. So we manage the hotel with respecting what the owners actually do need, because over a period of time we know exactly how to perform, and there is really not too many clashes, I would say, luckily for us, because we have a fair level of understanding of each other now. We present our results bi-monthly in our board meetings, and there, of course, there is a questioning, and we have to, obviously, we know how to handle that now after so many years that. Sometimes things are good, sometimes things are not good. You may be good in STR one quarter, and you may not be that good the next quarter. But there's always a reason behind it, because we know that we are working in the same, with the same zest and with the same enthusiasm. But sometimes the market changes, sometimes your decisions change. So I think that is all driven by the market. Yeah.
Perfect. Um, Coming to like what you've learned at the job, and that you've said quite a few times in this conversation, what is something you were taught was essential to being a successful hotelier initially that you no longer believe? That I want answer from everyone. One line maybe.
No
What do you
longer
think?
believe.
Yeah, what did you learn
I
initially?
don't think there was anything that was taught to us in hospitality which I no longer believe in. I mean, practically, you cannot do the same thing now, because my first lesson in hospitality was when the guest is entering the door of the hotel, your keys should be out and ready for him. But that doesn't happen now. Guests don't come to the reception to pick up keys. So I am from that era of the big keys. So yeah, we were taught this, that the guest should not, you should know the name of each and every guest who is walking the door of your hotel. This was the kind of lessons we were taught in hospitality. Today, we tell them how to chat with the guest online, how to do a push notification for his mobile check-in. Things have changed, and so we have evolved, and so the SOPs also altered, and but the basic is still the same, that the guest should be comfortable in doing whatever he's doing, he or she.
Perfect. Ms. Makhija.
So I think it's the same for us also. The whole philosophy of having guests as God is exactly the same for us over the years. That has not changed, because it's something that our Indian culture would also follow. Atithi Devo Bhava, something that I think it's a part of our DNA. So that is definitely not going to change. Response time has really become shorter, what was not the case earlier, because of the access to the various technology, which is really vast now, which was not the case before. Rest everything, I think it's just become better. And I think we never had those that focus on sustainability aspects earlier, which has really increased now. People are very conscious of what they are, what exactly they're utilizing, like plastic, and all of that usage really has become zero at all the hotels. And I think the hotels have really modified as per the latest trend, and especially the international hotels, because they are run by international standards. So that is something that travelers are really careful about, and the hotels are evolving as per that whole trend now.
Perfect. Miss Sridhar.
Yes, it's the same like guest is always right. If someone has to win between you and the guest should always win. Has been taught to us. It is now the same. As mentioned by Miss Makhija, the only thing is changed is one thing which is changed now is yes, the response time. People are left with no patience, but we need to respond them uh, within 24 hours now. So, and if not, then escalation goes to the higher level, and then the things investigation is on, so many, so on, so forth. And then when we sit for the review, we see why the TripAdvisor ranking has gone down. So this is the reason. Guest has put it in the social media. So many things we learn from the social media platform nowadays with the AI taking its place. So everything is so open now that we cannot, why away with a thing. No, I haven't said this. So you can. I know earlier we used to manage that. No, no, we have not said this. We said it in this way, but that is not the way. People start recording nowadays things. So then it comes to the and it's known to the entire world. So we need to be more careful, cautious, and then no patience left. But we have to manage these things.
Yeah, there's no hiding.
Yeah, there's no
Okay.
idea.
Everybody has talked about technology, and of course, we should talk about how AI today is getting into hospitality. Is technology too much now for hospitality or not? AI is being presented as a next big transformation. Is the industry ready? Ms. Bhatia, you can start maybe.
Yes, definitely. Yesterday I was looking at some roadside dhaba where the robot is serving the food.
Yeah.
In I think Murthal or somewhere. I just read one
Muttal.
article. So, we are of course more than ready. So, definitely we are, so technology is for betterment. Technology has to be used. There is no other way. Yes, AI is here to stay and is the next transformation. We have seen so many transformations already, with internet and with Googles and everything. I mean, this is all the dot coms when they came. Everybody said this bubble will burst. Sure, it did, but other things came. AI came, so things are changing and will keep evolving. And this is not the end. There will be something else afterwards. I wonder what though. So we have to always, our only thing should be that we should always keep ourselves relevant to times, change with the times as it goes. But the one thing that should not change be the essence of hospitality. I think that's the only thing that we need to keep in mind. And technology also is it works as you guide the technology to work. I mean, if you're doing an AI, if you're asking a question to AI, it is your own brain because you are telling them what you want. So it's just simplifying your work, nothing else. Otherwise, your own brain is going into it. If you do not ask the relevant questions, you don't get a relevant answer. So basically, as long as you have that essence of hospitality alive, the spirit of hospitality is alive in you, no amount of technology will kill it. Yes, of course, today, people don't want to talk to you, and we were told that you have to keep talking to all the guests and talking to them. They don't want to talk today, but you can chat. They're okay with that, right? So there is one way of conversation is still going on. Communicate with people. So there is a different way of doing it. That's all. So technology will only be as good as the time it is in, and as good as how you want to use it.
Ms. Makhija, where can AI genuinely help hotels? Which part
So
of the hotel business can be really, really helped with, or where, can utilize AI the most, according to you?
So I think it's more, and I agree that what Ms. Bhatia also mentioned, that it is something that is going to stay, and we'll have to obviously get ourselves attuned to the various processes. But I feel that our hotels are known for that, service with heart and service and the human touch, that whole element. So we cannot be off that. So I think data and technology specifically can help us anticipate preferences of these travelers, preferences of these guests, and to be able to really create a a module which would really help us enhancing the stay, right? For example, if I'm able to really use the data to really identify that this particular guest have been eating this particular dish at a restaurant, there are chances of, or a wine per se. So there are ways of being able to really fine tune the experience for the guest next time he comes with us. There's a scope of doing upselling with that guest because the person has already spent the amount on that particular beverage. So there is a scope of using the data and technology in enhancing the guest experiences, in the front areas. In the back areas, I think it's the technology can be used mostly in HR practices where some of the load of the work can be replaced by using AI techniques, and see that how the paperwork can be reduced with that technology. uh, some bit of that can also be utilized in our engineering models, and some bit of how the CCTV cameras or a facial recognition would work for a traveler. So I think the usage can be really enhanced in all these areas, and rather than getting a robo in the lobby of a hotel, like in Delhi, and doing check-in for all of us. I think it can be utilized more for these areas where you still have human touch left, you still have people present to handle a guest, and you still have faces to see, and there is still a smile on somebody's face when you walk into a lobby. So all of that can be a mix of both, actually.
And I think in the future, we will have a mind map of the traveler as well, eventually
Yeah, I
to
mean,
cater to
you
their
should be
needs.
able to really like do an intelligent personalization.
Mhm.
It's more to
Yeah.
do with that.
Thank you, ma'am. Uh, Ms. Sridhar, what part of hospitality, according to you, should we never automate? Now that we are talking about technology, should
Kind of, I
never,
mean,
never be. What part of hospitality, like what part of your business should never be automated, ideally? No, AI को
uh,
आना ही नहीं है वहां पर.
I mean, it's like human touch, which cannot be replaced with. So that part, like welcoming the guest, being there when they need you, their requirements, all these things, like you can pull up the data and everything, and their preferences can be tracked. Everything can be done through AI. But when it comes to the human touch, which is I don't think so. AI should come into that part because that is the essence of the hospitality. So, I mean, our personalized touch is go and meet them. Like we said, that we meet them at the breakfast time. So, AI can't do that. We cannot send the robo in the morning hours, breakfast hours, go and meet the guest, right? It doesn't make any sense. So, that part of things should be left for the human being to take charge of it. So, I feel future is high tech. I have no doubt about it, but high touch is the essence.
Lovely. So we don't want robos in India at all.
No, it can come,
They
but
can,
not during
yeah, they
to
can
meet
do
the
some
guests
like
during
Preeti
breakfast.
said.
Yeah. They
What
can be
were
in
you
back
saying, ma'am?
areas.
Yeah.
They can
At
sit
the
in the
back
back
end.
areas.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Our
perfect.
staff would have some entertainment also with them.
Yes, we can
Okay,
do.
but all the time we equate innovation with technology only, but there are so many other things, there's sustainability, operational changes that can be a powerful forms of innovation too. So where do we, ma'am, we go in that direction? How far you have gone in that direction of that kind of innovation that you brought in?
Yes, yes, definitely. Innovation does not definitely mean technology. I absolutely agree with you. So, if you talk about where have we innovated, we've recently installed a bottling plant. It is nothing new, but this water is atmospheric water. It is water made from air. So this is the next level of sustainability. So we have equipment that has been put out there in the open air, which makes water from the air. The way water goes through a purification process, gets bottled in the hotel, is sealed and kept in the guest rooms with the expiry date, etc., etc. So I think that is one of the fantastic innovations that we have recently incorporated, and I'm sure there are many others who will follow this. So also there are some other changes, now, for example, like there are certain areas of the hotel which we feel that our job is hoteliering, let's focus on that. So, for example, our laundry, we have a third party operation in the hotel because it is a high cost area and it is best to be done by those who are experts in that. So, we've given it out to a third party in the hotel itself. Nothing has changed for the hotel. The operations changed, the costs have gone down, and new equipment has come in. We are a legacy hotel, and it would have been a huge investment for us to redo all the equipments. So these kind of innovations are happening now. That's with sustainability. Of course, we have EV charging stations in the hotel now. That's also a Marriott mandate, and we have it right in the hotel. So there are other things, like an e-waste collection center, like responsible disposal of e-waste as well as responsible disposal of waste, segregation of waste at the point of use, etc., which is all things that other things are there. They are all mandatory, imposed by the government. So, everybody's doing that. But yes, things are changing and things have improved, and innovation is the way to go. Yeah.
Anything like for all of you, any innovation in operations that you want to highlight? Makhija, Ms. Lakshmi, Sridhar, ma'am.
So,
Me,
apart from what Ms. Bhatia mentioned, we of course, I think water bottling plant is something that we have all adapted to, and there is a beautiful initiative that's been done by the brand. It's called the Fool Initiative. We have loads of flowers in the hotel. I mean, Leela is known for doing their beautiful flower arrangements in the lobby and in the public area. So there was a lot of conversation about how much the hotel has been spending on flowers. So the brand came up with an initiative where we have tied up with an NGO in Kanpur, which is run by women skilled labor, and all these flower petals are dried up in the hotel and collected across the various palaces, and they're sent to this NGO where these ladies they make incense sticks and dhoop the scones out of them, and all of this has been beautifully packaged in Leela branding, and it becomes a lovely keepsake for all our guests. So any event that happens for the brand, any trade fair we are participating internationally, this is something that's becomes a lovely gift from the brand itself, and there's a great story behind it, and the fragrance exactly the same how a lobby would smell in the hotel or how a room would smell in a hotel. Our bath fragrances, which is a brand called Dishya, is again 100% sustainable, which is again done by a lot of hotels now, because of the mandatory standard that we have to follow, and no plastic and usage of STP water and usage of solar, and the residual of all the RO plants being utilized in watering the plantation around. So all of that has become, I think, a part of our system now, and it is something that we all switching to. We have got EV vehicles as well because it's a part of our LQ audit. So and in fact, we're planning to convert the entire fleet into a EV BMW EV vehicle. So all of that has been happening now, and I think this will only increase, and this is for the betterment of a future traveler, and everybody has been really really conscious about it, as I mentioned earlier. So this is something that, and Leela as a brand has been really really active in in getting into all those initiatives, and to the extent that our tea bags are made by a supporting NGO in Assam. Our laundry bags are supporting a Gramin Mahila Udyog in Rajasthan. So all of them has been a part of an initiative, and been really contributing and giving back to the society.
So, ma'am, everybody has talked about the sustainability initiatives that they are taking. What I was also like coming to is how innovation is getting into operations so that there is ease for your staff as well as the guest. So, if there is something new happening there, if you can, anybody can highlight that.
to give a guest experience more differently. So we have been taught that we have to hire the locals, give livelihood to the locals who are there, and procurement. Most of our 40% of our procurement come from the locals only. So to give them the livelihood. So that is one thing. And also when there is a big group coming and all, we have a tribal society which is living very close to our Vishakhapatnam, which is Araku, wherein we call these tribal people and do a welcome dance for them. So it becomes, a cultural thing, the giveaway for our guests guest also. So likewise, we procure all our toys from these locals only, from Etikopaka toys. All these things come from Rajamundry. So we don't hire it from any other states and all. We give more livelihood to the locals only. So our gifts, our welcome dance, whatever we offer to the guest, is evolved around to the locals to give something to the society back. So this is how we are also connected with the NGOs. We also have our own skill development center, which is started by our owner actually. So we have picked up these people from the northeastern part, the distressed state Manipur. So we have called them here. We give them the training and we employ them within our hotels. So this has been happening since 2 years. So we have around 100 employees hired from the Manipur northeastern districts now. So a lot of people are working with us now. We have our own skill development center here. So these kind of things we feel that it is more important for us to give it back to the society is what is more important. So we also have a water bottling plant and other whatever the energy conservation thing, whatever e-waste management system, food waste management system is applied so that all things are packaged it around and we are very much into it and we practice it.
Thank you.
Nisha, I would also like to take a minute to talk about something not that we do in the hotel, but as part of the industry group. We have a group of women who have come together. We are doing some skill development initiatives specifically focused for women, wherein we mobilize children from the marginalized society, and we send them up for training. And I'm sure many of us have recruited people from there. So we work with a group of NGOs and we connect them to another big NGO which runs a skill development program for hospitality, which is a fast track program called Sathya. Sathya's founder is Shruti Shibulal, based in Bangalore, and they have opened a Sathya center here in Vasant Kunj with the help of the Vicky Tourism ladies, and we are doing actually a very good job. Some of my best baristas are coming from this school right now. Some of my best housekeeping teams are there. And in fact, and most of the hotels now are recruiting from Sathya also and supporting them. Yeah.
I mean, it's remarkable initiative.
Yeah.
Ma'am, you talked about women. We have 3 women on the panel. The women leadership question, slightly kicks in on its own. So I don't want to, ask a typical question that, you are in a space which is usually dominated by men. No, hospitality has more women than men from what we see, and like at least equal. So we don't want to, say that, leadership is now gender agnostic. We can see that happening. But, at the same time, women are often told that they bring empathy to the leadership. Do you think the description has become a little stereotype in itself? Anyone can answer.
Well, I don't think that we are more empathetic. I think we are more balanced, and our approach is very different. But again, I'm not radical when it comes to women, empowerment and all. I think empowerment is in our own hands. How we empower ourselves, the world will see us like that. So I keep telling all the girls that you need to make your own place. I don't think that we get marginalized or we do not get enough opportunities. I think it is our own personalities and how we make way for ourselves. And yes, definitely, if our management style is different, so it is because men were made in Mars and women in Venus. That theory is still good. We think differently. We are balanced, but then everybody has their own. It can also be a difference between 2 individuals. It's not just about women and men. So it can be everybody has their own leadership style.
Anything anyone else wants to add on to what Ms. Bhatia has said? Otherwise, we'll move to the last part of the conversation.
I second the thought. Yeah, completely agree.
Lovely.
Same.
Okay, some fun questions we'll first ask, and then I'll come to the closing remarks. Okay. We would want to know, like, there's so many guest requests that come to all of you. Ms. Makhija, we'll start with you. What's the strangest guest request you personally become involved in, and did you manage to make it happen?
Actually, there are
Physical.
many. There are many.
Anything you can highlight?
To an extent that a showstopper for getting a dress in Italy, and we were managing to do something for her dress locally in India, to a person who was in, there was a gentleman who was settled in US, and, he came to India after years because he was born and brought up in US, and he came to India after years, and he wanted to visit his grandfather's graveyard, and he had no clue where the cremation would have happened. He just knew the name and how, of course, I'll not say it was me, but my teams got involved into searching the entire Delhi circuit, and finalizing, zeroing down the right center where his grandfather would have been cremated, and to be able to really locate that for him was something which was very, very special, because there was no way that anybody can locate somebody's, in out of nowhere, with just the name, because of the contacts what concierge would have. They were able to identify the spot and was able to manage it. So these are some special, moments, and I think there are many, and these are the few that really always I would feel that these they have an emotional connect with a person, and that is something which is really, really special to me. Apart from that, there are many, and of course we've been a part of a lot of big movements as well, so I don't want to really name any one of those. There have always been a lot of special moments at this hotel for me, so yeah, it's fine.
Perfect. Ms. Sridhar, with requests come also complaints. So, is there any complaint that you've received from a guest that actually changed the way your hotel is run, or you've changed that entirely for the future? This is not going to happen again.
There are many actually. So
Anything you
we
can
keep
highlight? Yeah.
uh, so there's one guest, she's just come and stayed with us for months now. She was staying with us for a month. She was a long stay guest, and suddenly she lost her temper one day, and she came back and she said, I want to meet your GM. And then they said, my front office frontline staff, they got afraid when why she's calling for a GM. And they said, my GM comes very late and she leaves early. And this is what the statement they have given. And they asked for, can I have your GM's number? Oh, she will be very angry if we will pass her number to you. So this is what they conveyed to the guest, and they got furious. I mean, is your GM is a prime minister that your number is not can be shared? And why your GM comes so late and leaves early? So I was like stunned by this question. As I said, you have to. I mean, I learned that day that maybe somewhere I have to correct myself, to be, to tell them that it's okay to call your GM. It's okay to be, genuine. You have to be genuine with the guest. You have to be truthful with the guest. So because she became furious, she came down to the lobby. She wrote to all my core global team that this is what is happening. Your GM is not available. She comes late and she leaves early. All. And whereas I come at 8:30 and leaves, and the hospitality industry is how demanding it is, the timings, long hours we just discussed. So these kind of things keeps coming into me, and still it happens. I am not able to correct it. I mean, still people say, why you're calling my GM? What happened? Can I correct it? So these things are little things, people get offended if don't pass on their number immediately, GM's number especially. They feel that, we have instructed them not to pass on the numbers.
Okay.
So
Great.
lot many.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ms. Bhatia, according to you, what is one thing, the hotels that, spend money on, but guests barely care about it? And one thing that guests care deeply about the hotels, one thing that the guests care deeply about that hotels still underestimate at your end. Because they want it, but you think, it's a given. Okay, fine.
This is something I was addressing only today. So, we focus so much on aesthetics, which is, of course, important for a five-star hotel. The hotel has to look beautiful, everything should be nice, all that. But, sometimes our focus is not on the smallest thing that the guest is going to use the most. And if I may also mention on this open forum, but, things like your toilet papers, when you are pulling that, and if you're what do you call it, that stand in which you put it, it's bad, and this paper keeps breaking. It's so terrible. I mean, it is such a small thing, but so terrible. And I think I told them that the guests will come and look at your beautiful curtains, and they will look at the beautiful piece of art and a nice, comfortable bed. It's white, everything. But when he goes to the toilet, he's going to be so disgusted because this is happening. So these are the kind of things that we need to train our housekeeping to check every time. And these are the
Constantly.
things that, yeah. So these are very small things, but these are the things that people need to look at in detail.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, ma'am. Interesting it is. Final question. If you had to choose only one, and this one by one you can answer. If you had to choose only one, people, profit, or innovation, which would you prioritize if you wanted your hotel to remain successful 5 years from now? What is the first thing that you will prioritize?
People.
I
People,
think
Only people.
and the rest will
people.
follow. The rest will
It's a
follow.
no-brainer.
Yeah.
Okay, then complete the sentence. The hotel of the future will succeed if it, Miss Makhija.
If it follows the trends, go with the trends, basically.
Okay, thank you. Miss Bhatia,
I think again, delivery of service, people by people. Yeah.
Miss Sridhar, last.
Attaining is giving best of the best services to the team and to the guest.
So on that note, ma'am, all of you, thank you for that last word as well. We have realized that service people come first, and as you said, everything else follows. Uh, we will be releasing this conversation very soon on social media, our TV channel, as well as in the magazine. But I think what we've established today is also the fact that the future of hospitality isn't only about choosing from one thing or the other, but a right balance between all these three things. Anyone, if you want to add on to anything that we've discussed, and you think we can reach another level in hospitality in India, please feel free, and we'll close after that.
I think India as a destination needs to be promoted and marketed well, to travelers, which is not the case. We are still lagging behind in marketing India as a destination. And I think as hotels, we have been doing a lot, but as a nation, there is a lot of things that we could do better to be able to promote India the right way. That is something which is lagging behind.
I think everybody agrees with that.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you for your time, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you meeting you
Thank
all.
you.